Well, hello, welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today it's time for another guitar update. I've had several people asking me, people who have watched the 9-month guitar journey that I posted a few months ago, or actually probably more than 6 months ago now, maybe even a year ago now when we finished that up. People want to know if I had still been working on guitar, and yes, I am still playing guitar pretty much every day, with various levels of success. Sometimes I feel like I've plateaued, sometimes I feel like I'm not making any progress, but then I come to a period where I do feel like I'm making some progress, and people just wanted an update, and I thought I would show you what's been going on and what I've been working on. So, what have I been working on? Well, I have a little course here, and this course is called the Anyone Can Play Guitar Solos course, or the ACPG Solos course. It is made by a very cool guy named Adrian, who has a YouTube channel called Anyone Can Play Guitar. He's in the UK somewhere, and he is a really good teacher. This is the only course I think that he has on his site on Anyone Can Play Guitar, and it is a very basic soloing course, kind of a beginner soloing course. And the reason I decided I wanted to study this course is because obviously I'm not super good at soloing, I'm not amazing at guitar in general, and I wanted kind of a foundational course that built everything up from the beginning. Obviously I've learned some solos, I've learned some lead stuff, but I didn't have that foundation. And I wanted to really start at the beginning, kind of tear everything down, all the habits that I had, and then build everything back up from the very beginning. And it's a really cool course. It's very long. I think there's over 7 hours of video. He has downloads for each module in the course, each lesson in each module. There'll be a video for each section. And with him explaining what he's going over, there will be tabs. There's just all sorts of good stuff. It starts with like an introduction, and then the first module is getting started. He just goes into the minor pentatonic, which of course I know, but I had mostly been focusing on the major, or just the major scale, not the pentatonic scale and not the minor pentatonic scale. And so this was a really good refresher just to get me into that. He teaches you some very simple licks, puts those licks in context, and then we did like our first complete solo, which is super, super basic, very basic. Just using these basic licks, the minor pentatonic scale, not doing any bends or hammer-ons or pull-offs or anything. It's just, he does a backing track and you practice this solo. I think it's like... I think you get the idea, and you're not supposed to put any vibrato on it, you're not supposed to bend, you're not supposed to do anything, you're just supposed to play it totally straight, and he's very specific about you getting everything note perfect and with the proper alternate picking and everything, which is kind of what I like about him. He's not an obnoxious like, hey guys, whatever you do is cool. He's very particular, but he's not overbearing, and he's like, you gotta learn this, you have to learn it. Note for note, you have to play it in time, you're supposed to be playing it with the metronome and everything. So just super basic stuff, building up your skills from the very beginning. And then he's been getting into hammer-ons and pull-offs, doing hammer-on and pull-off licks, and it's really cool. I'm really looking forward to the other modules. Like I said, I did the first module, I'm into the second module now, doing pull-off licks, hammer-ons, then we're gonna do hammer-on and pull-offs combined. We're gonna get into a solo, putting those things into it. Then module 3 is getting into bending in tune, sliding, muting. Module 4, introducing the swing feel, microtonal bends, vibrato, all that good stuff. Module 5, building fluency. Group of 3 exercises, 4th exercises, essential licks, getting into that. Changing key in module 6. Understanding 16th note rhythms, open position licks, and he'll has a solo for every single module as you go through. Module 7 blues scale and extra notes. I don't know, just it goes on starting from a very, very basic level and building everything up. And I'm hoping by the time I finish this course, which will probably be in about a year, I will have a much better understanding of playing lead, writing my own solos, improvising solos along with the backing track or a song. So very cool. Check out Anyone Can Play Guitar, the Solos course. I highly recommend it. One thing that is super basic, but I never really thought about, and the Anyone Can Play Guitar course has actually kind of helped me with, is, you're supposed to be going over these scales and obviously just drilling the pentatonic scale. And I would drill the pentatonic scale over and over, just like... Everyone knows that, and I do it, I'd go up to like 140 beats per minute and do 2 notes per beat and everything, and I'm like, oh, look at how fast I am. But then when it comes to actually playing, you're in this position, the I'm drilling my solo position, and then not in this position, which you're going to be normally when you play. And so it really taught me to actually drill my solos in the position that I'll be playing. So I'll be like, I just had to actually sit down and force myself to practice like. Which I never really did before. I was always just drilling solo or drilling my scales like this in this position, which you don't normally play in. Usually you got your thumb over and you're using your ring finger for the most part and stretching down to these frets. So that was super important. I've gotten much better at that. Next, you can see that I'm holding a pick, and I posted a video a while back when I was complaining about how everyone says that you've got to hold a pick in a certain way, you're supposed to use a really heavy pick. Do you remember this? Everyone said, no, you can't do that. You have to hold it with just the 2 fingers. And I tried, and I decided, you know what? As long as I can play what I want to play, then I'll use whatever pick I want, and I'll hold it in whichever way I want. So about that, I don't really agree with what I said in that video anymore, because now I do hold my pick like this. I have it in my thumb like this. I'm not holding it in my weird hybrid style anymore like I was before. Now I am holding it like this, and it's just something I drilled on, because this is how I hold it when I'm playing single notes and lead, and then I would kind of shift it. I would be playing lead like this, then I would shift it over, and I would play rhythm. Now I'm just holding it like this all the time, and it works fine. I just had to force myself to do it over and over. So that entire video that I posted a while back about how you're holding your pick wrong and you should be holding it like this, making fun of people who say that to you, well, you can still probably hold your pick however you want to hold your pick, but I have switched to the more, quote, appropriate way of holding my pick, and it's working out just fine. I never would have been able to strum that pattern or any kind of pattern really holding my pick that way. I always had to do that weird hybrid thing. Now it's working just fine. And finally, you may remember that I posted a video where I was complaining about how difficult it is to play guitar standing up. How I don't understand how anyone can play with the guitar down around their knees. Please ignore the fact that I'm wearing pajama bottoms. Well, I have been practicing with the guitar on its strap standing up. I did like 2 or 3 weeks in a row where every time I was playing standing up, practicing with the guitar standing up. And I was up like this initially. This is where I decided in that video that it would be comfortable. Basically in the same position I would keep it when I was playing sitting down, just transferred to when I was standing up. And I was practicing every single day in this position and getting okay at it. And then one day I just kind of lowered my strap a little bit and I got it to there, which to me I always thought was super uncomfortable and impossible, but now it's fine. And I don't really know why. I think it was just getting comfortable with playing in that upper position where I had it right about there, and then just getting comfortable with that. A switch was just sort of flicked for some reason, and then suddenly I could lower my guitar It's still not down as far as a lot of people have it, but I can play it at about, I don't know, waist height perfectly comfortably. Easy. Maybe the guitar is going to keep creeping lower and lower until I'm finally down to like Jimmy Page level with it close to around my knees. I don't know, but something happened. That switch was flicked like I mentioned, and I can do it now. So basically, I'm going to be playing standing up about 50% of the time. I want to make sure I don't lose it every time I practice. I usually do half the practice sitting, half the practice standing, or I may just go an entire week where I'm standing the entire time. I just want to make sure I keep doing it. And I'm also just trying to jam along with songs more while standing up, listening to something on iTunes or something, a song that I know, and playing along with it while standing. So there you go. Nothing seismic, nothing earth-shattering, but I have been making progress. Some walls that I thought I wouldn't be able to get through, I have. I can hold my pick like this now. I didn't think I'd be able to, but I can. I can play standing up now. Again, I didn't think I'd be able to, but I can. And that's what makes guitar so fun, is you get up to these walls, you bash your head against it over and over and over, you think, I'm never gonna get through this thing, and then suddenly, one day, it just works. And you know it's the culmination of all the practice you've been putting in, but it seems to happen so quickly. And what you forget is that you've been spending hours and days trying to do this thing, and that muscle memory is building up, and then finally you just hit this tipping point where suddenly you can do it. And it's really satisfying and really gratifying to be able to do that. I love guitar. I'm gonna keep playing. I will give you guys an update, I don't know, maybe in another year's time, we'll see. Maybe once I get done with this entire solo course, or maybe when I get to about the halfway point in the solo course, I'll learn, I think there are about 3 or 4 solos up to the half point. So I'll show you where I've gotten. Like obviously that first one I played was super, super basic. But it's gonna get pretty complicated and pretty cool. I've skipped ahead a little bit to see what the solos are gonna be like. So stay tuned for that, but until next time, until we meet again, I've been a good friend Bradley, you've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.